What's up, guys? My name's Andrew Stepp. I just passed my oral check ride, my instrument check ride as a whole. Right now I'm specifically going to be going over what was on the check ride and how I studied for it, because I found it was pretty tough to go online and find a program that would really prepare you for the instrument oral for free. There's a lot of paid stuff out there, but I didn't want to pay. So I kind of just guessed and it worked pretty well, so I wanted to share exactly what I did, help some other pilots out when they're preparing for their check ride. Obviously, I'm not a CFI, so I'm not officially licensed to be an instructor. This is just what I learned and what I felt needed to be shared. So let's hop right into it. This is my cheat sheet right here. This is what I studied the most. This is the airplane IFR quick review sheet from Pilots Cafe. Some guy did an awesome job. Put together a 10-page document on what he felt you needed to know for the IFR oral, the instrument oral check ride. And did a really great job. There was some stuff he missed, but I'll get into how I solved that in a second. I did study the sheet 2 times a day for the 5 days leading up. It does have all the acronyms, everything you need to know, grab car, WCraft. Does a real great job, so go through that, make sure you know everything on here. Now, for the stuff it does miss, there are a few things that are not on this that you will be asked. For that, I read the whole ASA book. I'll throw a picture of that up here. That little red book, I went through and I read everything in there, and while I was reading it, I was cross-checking with this document. If this document didn't have it, I went ahead and wrote it down. For the most part, generalized. There were a few things, some real specific stuff that I knew was overkill that I knew I didn't need to know. I talked to my instructor a little bit about it. There were some things like how the VSI works, and then all these different kinds of vacuum pumps, I think. But some stuff that you're just not going to need to know. Didn't go overkill with that. Didn't write all that down. But the big stuff I did. When's your IFR rating required? He missed that on here. Definitely something you need to know. Also, I watched the Annie Munnis video a couple times. Watched that on 1.25x speed, by the way. It'll go by a lot quicker. It's a couple hours long. And he goes over the things most missed on an IFR check ride. And he's also focusing on the oral portion. So same thing, watch the video, have this on the side. And yeah, when you see something you don't know or that's not on the sheet, go ahead, write it down on the back of these pages, write it in the margins, that good stuff. And so after you've done those 2 things, this is pretty much your master document for what's going to be on the check ride. Super useful. Really recommend doing that. Probably studied 25 hours in the 5 days leading up to the check ride, and this really helped a lot. Other thing I studied a lot was the Fly 8 Mike Alpha videos. I like watching videos a lot, so that's the easiest thing for me to watch. He does lots of great videos. I watch the ones on how to read METARs just for review, how to read tasks for review. And he does go pretty advanced. He's normally got 2 videos, a basic one and a more advanced one, and there is some weird stuff on tasks that you might get asked. Also airspace, I watched his videos on airspace. The airspace ones were good. IFR en route load charts and the approach plate video, all awesome videos. Watch those. I didn't really take notes or anything, but you pretty much just pick it up as he goes. He does a really great job of explaining everything. So that's really awesome. Definitely utilize that resource. The other thing I did, I highly recommend this. Your examiner will have you create a cross-country plan. For your ride. You're not going to fly it, obviously, just so you know how to create a cross-country plan and then go on and explain that to him. I use that to help me with the weather charts. In this document, it wants you to memorize, it wants you to memorize 9 different weather charts, which I thought was a little bit ridiculous. And they all sound the same, weather depiction chart, prog charts. There's so many different charts, low level, mid level, high level, all these different things, and it was really rough trying to remember what is on those. So what I did for the cross country, the day before and the morning before the check ride, I went through, got on aviationweather.gov, throw that up there if you haven't heard of that, definitely a great resource. Go on there and save the charts for the time that you're doing your cross country. So I find a prog chart, low level prog, something like that. Save it, take a screenshot, save it, and then when you're on your Checkride and he says, what's a low weather prog chart, you can say, oh, hey, I saved that. You can pull out your iPad, show it to him, say, this is a screenshot of low level prog chart that I took yesterday for our cross country today. Here's what everything means, and it's almost like a cheat sheet. It's easy to know what they're meaning when you're looking at them, right? It has a little key on the side, so that makes knowing those charts way easier, and you look more prepared for the cross country. So it's kind of a win-win there. Also, utilize your knee board. I guess this is my one tip for a worthy flight, but pre-flight, go through and on all your approaches. I'm in Kansas City. I did KMKC LIS 19, and so for that approach, I put in my localizer frequencies, tower frequencies, approach frequencies, all my altitudes, little reminders, things I missed previously, make sure I ident the localizer, stuff like that, and then your missed approach. So instead of having to sift through the approach plate, you can just do a quick glance down, okay, I know at 6.8 on the DME, I need to be at 2,600 feet. Things like that. Super easy, do those quick checks, makes you look more prepared, and it makes the flight easier. So really highly recommend that. Also on my knee board, because I use Garmin Pilot, having a legend for the IFR en route charts is kind of rough, because it's not like you can just flip the paper over and look at them. I don't even know if Garmin Pilot has legends built into their software. So what I did was I took the knee board and I split the legend sheet in half, put half on this side, half on this side. So when I have my Garmin Pilot up, right, I can just look at the legend on my knee. Really awesome, really easy, highly recommend that. But yeah, absolutely, use a knee board, use it as your cheat sheet. I have holding patterns in there. Makes it super easy to mentally imagine when you're up there and he's telling you, hey, fly direct, Napoleon, hold on the 089 radial, I think is what mine was. This makes it super easy to visualize, and definitely recommend that. So a few things that I did not know on the sheet here, that I did not know and I was not able to come up with on the oral portion. On approach plates, when there's a little negative space C, it's a little black square, and then a little C in the middle of it, down by the circling minimums, that means alternate circling minimums. I did not know what that was, so definitely study that. That is not on the sheet. Alternate circling minimums. Parts of an ILS, that is on the sheet, but it doesn't say these are the 4 parts of an ILS. It talks about them. It just doesn't say that will be the question. So he asked me, what are the 4 parts of an ILS? The answer is localizer, glide slope, range, and approach light system. And it talks about that, but it doesn't say that that's the question that will be asked. Also, what you are allowed to do when you have approach lights in sight. I believe that he said you are allowed to go down to 100 feet above the touchdown zone elevation when you have the approach lights in sight. Make sure you know that. And then also takeoff minimums. In the sheet here, bottom left portion of the 3rd page, IFR takeoff minimums. The part that it kind of outlines is the part 121, 125, 129, and 135. And it goes through 1 to 2 engines, more than 2 engines. That is not correct. If you're unless you are flying that part, but I assume you will not be if you're getting your instrument license. Most of us are part 91, and so that means we do not have takeoff minimums. We can take off at 00, so no visibility, which from everyone I have been told is not recommended, but that is the correct answer. So make sure that you are telling them the right takeoff minimums, despite all the different takeoff minimums that it says in that sheet. I think that's all I got. Really just make that your master sheet. Study it hard. Every day, make sure you know all the acronyms. Your examiner will probably be pretty lenient if he can tell that you studied hard. They're going to throw questions at you that are hard to answer. So you just got to take it in step. Ask them if you can use resources. Look through the FAR AIM. Kind of get to know where stuff's at. That sheet does have all the FAR AIM references on it. Might do one of these for private. I hope to help you guys out, and I will see you next time.